When you develop a Rails application, there's really two different kinds of scenarios. Either you're developing it by yourself or you're developing it with some kind of team. And when developing by yourself, there's a lot of practices that work perfectly fine while flying solo. However, when you're on a team, things get a little bit more complicated. It doesn't matter if it's one additional person or a whole team of people. And so some of the practices will have to be different. For example, if we run the bin Rails credentials edit, we can pass in an environment and we can set this to our development environment. And so this Rails credentials file does not exist yet, so it went ahead and got created. And now within here, we can create credentials for our own development environment. And as a general rule, that works great. However, this does introduce a few different problems when working on a team. Let's say each team member was given a PC, and on that PC has a graphics card, and we're using Olama or something to access it. So you might have the IP address of that local PC on your network. You'll say this credentials file, and you'll push it up, and it works on your computer. But the problem is the other developers, they may have a different IP address on their network. They may be on a 10 subnet, and another developer may have a completely different IP address. And so this creates a problem because as we are pushing up our code, it's not going to work on our other team members' environments. So in this episode, I want to have a look at how we can kind of solve this problem. And for this, we still want to use our Rails credentials because there could be a lot of other items within here that aren't going to be developer specific, but they are still API keys or something similar that we need to have protected in our repository. And there's a lot of solutions outside of the Rails application that we could use with a shared 1Password account or any other kind of password manager. But a lot of that can get complicated, and you still have the issues of being able to easily override that. And so that's what we're going to look at in this example, is to create some kind of hybrid approach that by default, a developer, when given the development key for their Rails credentials, can use the entire application as intended with the credentials, but we're also going to allow them to override it. So for in this example, each developer can set their own AIPC URL without affecting other developers or modifying the development credentials YAML file. To watch this full episode and more videos, visit driftinruby.com and subscribe to the Pro membership.